for the Groomsmen. I'll be your host, Jonathan. Today I'm using Rawr by Noble Otter. I do dig their artwork. I think it kind of stands out from a lot of people. They always have like the otter, front and center, but it's always kind of dressed up in some way to match the label name. And this one was kind of like a kid-friendly scent. There's a whole description on his website about, it's supposed to like kind of bring back to childhood and stuff like that. But it smells really nice. It's very, very green, fresh spring scent. Some citrus notes up front, some neroli, some orange. But the real big player for me is the dandelion. So it's really, really nice green. Not really floral scent, but kind of green, leafy, green grassy. Really, really bright, really nice. It's got a little bit of white musk, I think, in the bottom, and a little bit of vanilla. I don't get a lot of that in the scent. Maybe just a touch of the vanilla. The dandelion, it smells so good. I would have never thought to smell something that smells like dandelions, but it's wonderful. Super, super bright, super green. Got it all lathered up here using an Omega boar brush here. I got this off Amazon, I think like $9. So like cheap little boar brush here. I shed one hair. But I lathered it up nice. I don't think I've ever used this one. I did like a break-in video with this brush way, way, way back in the day. But I don't know if I've ever used it or not. Couldn't remember. But I've been on a boar kick. I know a lot of people really like Omega brushes, their knots in particular, and will buy them because they're fairly cheap. And then just to like get the knots and then put them in other brushes sometimes. Lathered it up great like all my boars. Got another hair coming out. Almost poked me in the eye. It doesn't splay quite as easy as my Samog. It's a little stiffer. I might be partially because I've had the Samog longer and I've used it a lot more. So it's not quite, although I've done the 3-day kind of break-in cold water soak and all that. It's not gotten a lot of use, but it feels like it splays, but it just feels a little stiffer when it splays. Not in a bad way, it just is what it is. It's a great deal for $8. I think if you're looking for a cheap brush, if you're starting out or budget conscious, I think you'll get more bang for your buck buying a cheap like $8 boar brush like this. Like a quality one. Omega's a good brand. I wouldn't buy, some of those like the artist shaving ones are pretty crappy, it seems like. I had one of their Badger brushes once because it came with like a little sample size of their shaving creams and I was not impressed. Oh, I didn't put a blade in this. I'll put a blade in a second. So the razor I'm using is the brass Kopperkant. This is from Alysworth Shavings. It's got a little A on there. It's kind of faded out a little bit. I put this in, I think you can tell there's some like brass discoloration, like normal brass patina. A little darker in some spots. Like water spots got left on there, like you see like a little water spot and you don't dry it off and then it makes a weird discoloration mark. So I tried to put it in some ketchup the other day and let it sit for a while. And supposedly like the light acid and ketchup will help clean up the brass and it comes out looking nice. Mild. Like there was a small difference, but not a lot. The biggest difference I noticed, I don't know if you can tell on camera, the top cap and the base plate are slightly different tones now. The base plate still matches the handle, but the top cap's a little bit slightly different colored. So I think I might just polish the whole thing. But I ain't got a blade in there, so I'm gonna load one up. I'm gonna grab a Rapira Super Stainless, because that happens to be the one sitting out here on my shelf for no particular reason. I just didn't put it away last time I used it. I like how these are double wrapped and there's no glue dots. It's a little thing like that, but I like it. Oh, I guess there are little glue dots on that one on the inside, but they're not. They're really light, like little wax dots. Sometimes they like really glue them down to the paper and you can see the glue through the paper because it like eats through or like, and they're really hard to get off without cutting yourself. I like the double wrappings on blades, preferably with no glue. Just makes it easier. It loads up. So like I said, this is at the plus plate. I guess I showed you where I put it together. On the base plate on the edges here, there's a little plus. It has the original plate, which is a neutral blade exposure, and then the plus plate, which has a slightly more positive blade exposure, but very friendly to use. That's probably my second favorite razor. That might be what I title my video. I shave with my second favorite razor. I know a lot of people compared them to, or the original plate to the Overlander, which might be, they both have, well, the Overlander I think has more positive exposure. They're both nice. I really like the Overlander when I got it, but I really like my Alysworth more. Those razors catch a lot of comparisons for, they're in fairly similar price range. The angles are too different. And some people, I don't know if complain, but the angle on the Overlander is slightly different. But this, it's not like a really aggressive, like built-in angle on that, but there's a slight curve to the top cap there. It makes it pretty easy to find. But there's no, you can get it even if you ride the guard. Or it's got enough where you can get some movement in there and still maintain blade contact. But it's very comfortable. The plus plate is not what I would call aggressive. It's just slightly more efficient. Just a touch more blade feel than the neutral original plate. They also make this in stainless steel. It's got a different name. The Kopperkant, I believe. Thought about buying it, but then they came out with they kind of waffled on. I was looking at it for a while, then we go out of stock. I got like several of those boar hairs came off on my face and my lather. That's how I can tell I've not used this brush much, because it's still shedding. I think all boars, most natural hair brushes will shed a little bit when you're first using them and they're breaking in. Nothing to worry about. It's not abnormal to get a few loose hairs in your lather the first 5 or 6 shaves, but usually it kind of peters out and maybe you only get 1 or 2 for a while and then none. Hopefully, unless it's a bad knot. Anyways, I was looking at the stainless steel one for a while, and then for whatever reason didn't get it. And then they came out with the brass one. I don't know, I've had this for a little while. He had like an initial order with the release date set and everything. And it came with the stand, which I do have, and the original plate. And it was discounted because it was like their initial release for the brass. And the brass is already cheaper than stainless steel. So that was kind of what convinced me to buy it, because as much as I spend money on this wet shaving adventure, I am cheap at heart. And I like a good deal. That being said, there are a couple differences. The stainless steel one is, the stainless steel one is machined in the U.S. by Yates. The design is wholly from Alysworth. They have some cool videos out there that I've seen where they went through their design process and everything. And so their design is wholly their own. They just went to Yates for the machining, and Yates does some quality work. When they did the brass version, they decided to go somewhere else for the machining. It's on their website. It's China somewhere. I imagine it was a cost. That's my guess. Yates does good work, but Yates has a lot on his plate. He's doing his own stuff and other machining that he does as part of owning a machining shop. So the turnaround times might have been not what they were looking for with Yates, and or the price differences. It's probably cheaper to get it made in brass and then ship it over here. The design is the same, it's just the manufacturer is different. I know some people are upset about that. Sorry, I'm not upset about it. I don't really care. I mean, it's their company. I like Alysworth as a company. Whether they get it machined by Yates or machined by someone else, it's still their design. So I don't have any interesting issues with them. the savings they got from machining over there were passed on to me. Granted, it probably wouldn't be cheaper if I bought from China direct, not that they sell this razor direct, but for instance, I just bought a Shield brass razor, the Artist Club. I have the titanium one, but I'd like some more weight, and they finally had the brass back in stock, and it was only like $50 on AliExpress. So I picked that up. One day it'll get here. It'll take a couple weeks. I get why some people might have an issue with buying things from China. They prefer to buy American made, if at all possible, but I don't care. Maybe if I was rich, didn't, have to worry about paying my bills, and then I wouldn't care where my money went, but I'd be able to afford to spend more, but I can't. Sometimes it's really expensive to buy American made. The fact is, everything's made over there. There's a reason why manufacturing's done over there. Every car you want has a chip, and like a newer cars, all their chips are made overseas. Now they're working on building a new chip factory in the U.S. And they just struck a deal, I think, on that. Not the overseas people, just our government and whatever chip manufacturer to build a plant in the U.S. so they don't have manufacturing shortages and issues like they had during COVID. But that's like a decade away from showing up in any of the stuff you got. But one day, I guess you'll have the option to get that. No matter where it's made. I mean, Ford made their engines in Mexico for years. I think they still make a lot of their engines in Mexico. It's out there. It is what it is. This razor is very comfortable if I've not said enough during this shave. Like I said, it's my second favorite, right behind the original winning. And it's right there for all the same reasons. It's comfortable, it's easy to use, doesn't clog, it's efficient. I get the shave I'm looking for without having to do an extreme amount of touch-ups or getting razor burn from overshaving, trying to clean up an area. Very comfortable, even against the grain. It's just super smooth. I can't recommend this razor higher than that. You can always buy the stainless steel too. If all those other things bother you, spend a little more, get the stainless steel machine by Yates. That's a great shave. I always gotta do a couple little touch-ups along my Jaw line in the opposite direction. And that's it. Super smooth. BBS, great shave, very comfortable. No bleeding, no irritation. Great shave. I'm gonna do a cold water splash. I'll be right back and I'll do splash. Alright, I'm back. Thanks for sticking with me. So I've used Rawr before on camera and I really like it. I've had the soap for a while. I can't remember where I initially got it. It was a used tub off the bicycle trade. I don't know if I got it in like a mystery box or something else, or maybe I just bought it because I was interested, and I've always liked this soap and I've always meant to pick up a splash and I just hadn't gotten around to it. And so someone was selling a used set not that long ago. I got it the same time as I got this Katosin cabin. I think I talked about that when I used that one from 345. But I smashed my old tub into this tub, so it's pretty full. It's probably more than it was originally. I think it comes in a 4-ounce tub. Yeah, 4 ounces. There's probably 5 or 5.5 ounces of soap in there now. And the splash was almost full. Pretty, like 90%. Pretty full up there. Alcohol-based splash though, but it's got all kinds of skin food. Aloe, glycerin, witch hazel, white willow bark, chamomile, seaweed extract, carrot extract. It says menthol. I don't know if all this one comes with menthol. I don't think I realized that before. We'll see. It's got a flow inhibitor, but it's a little bigger than the other ones. I got a little more came out than I expected. I got one little tweeter there under my mustache. That's it though. A little stinging on my neck. That was it. Great shave. I really like the razor. I really like Alysworth. They make some good stuff. I know they got an aluminum razor now. I haven't tried it. This is the only Alysworth they have with the original and the plus plate, although I almost always just use the plus plate nowadays. I really like their splash though. Something about it, I don't know, it's really nice. My skin feels like a little softer than after most splashes. Good stuff. Smells great. It's not quite, it's toned down a little bit from the soap. That kind of grassy dandelion scent, which is a good thing. It smells really nice. It just smells more well-rounded. You get a little bit more, you get just a little bit of that vanilla and a little bit of the citrus stuff. I think there's orange and bergamot in there. Bergamot, I don't know. It smells great and I really like it. I'm glad I got the splash. Finally to go with this set. They make a really good splash. I really dig it. I might have to pull out my other set from the below water. I think I have one other set from Inno. I don't know, I'll go look for it. It's on a shelf, I know where it's at. I'll go find it and use it on my next video. But that was a shave. I hope you guys liked it. Alysworth makes some cool stuff. I really dig their handle designs too. It's different from the stainless steel one. The Kopperkant has a different handle design, but I dig the Kopperkant one. I think I'm gonna put this out on a polishing wheel and see what I can get out of it. I think it'll turn out pretty nice. But that's a shave. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think. And if you want anything special for my next video, and I'll see you then.